Okay, I'm back again. This is the controversial one. I don't know why I called it the controversial one, but this is the cream. This is where the problem lies. Like, there's a video making around on YouTube and even on Instagram, although I first saw it on Instagram before I eventually saw it on YouTube, where a woman was crying that her husband got her creams or gave her a vendor's phone number to buy organic. Of course, they abused organic, that because her skin was looking dull. And she said the story is long. The husband's side chick, blah 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 blah. She bought and the skin is horrible. That when she first applied, like, the thing is this: even before her, prior to her, there was someone that posted her legs and look at what organic cream did to her. My question is, these things do not happen overnight. There is no way you would tell me that you apply this cream today and the following day your skin messed up. That's not true. This is a continuous repeated use of that product before your skin gets to that point where you're now showing. So my question to these ladies, most of the time is ladies that are experiencing this thing, because you hardly see men in this kind of chaos. What were you thinking? Don't you have a mirror? When you, even if you don't have a mirror, don't you have eyes? You want to glow. Were you actually glowing? When you look in the mirror, were you seeing any glow on your skin? So that's the reason why I said the controversial one. He said that is cream. So this is the course outline for Emulsion cream course. And what are you learning? What are the cosmetics? What are the requirements on making in cosmetic science on making cream emulsion? Like I told you, we're competing with international brands. We're competing with products like Dr. Teal. Yes, we're competing with products like Olay. Maybe a little bit more ahead of those products. Like, what I mean by ahead, not that we're more sophisticated or posh. No. We are formulating to favor we, the melanated skin. You know, we, the melanated skin, our melanocytes, I always use this word, are busybodies. Like, they are easily triggered, and the moment they're triggered, they begin to produce melanin, which is not a bad thing. It's your skin's way of providing protection here to your skin. But then, and that's the reason why we keep hammering on SPF. Do not play with your sunscreen, because the sun exposure can trigger the melanocytes and all of that, and you have to be careful with the kind of products you use. Personally, for me, when you come to me and you do not have any issue with your skin, I give you just the 3 basic. And what is the 3 basic? A cleanser, most likely, a face wash, and a micellar water. If you're the type that apply makeup, I advise you to go for oil cleansers, more like makeup remover creams. The next one is moisturizer. Moisturize your skin is very important. And then the last but not the least is sunscreen. So if I give you any additional products, it's because of the condition you have with your skin. Maybe you have acne, or you're battling with hyperpigmentation, or you're battling with sunburns. I give you products that will help ease those things, right? And when it comes to making of creams, the reason why I said we're a little bit ahead of these other international brands is the fact that I focus my formulation based on skin of color, especially the melanin skin. So we're all about evening out our skin tones, and even out our skin tones have to do with certain ingredients that will be added. Let me give you an example. This is a base cream, right? And in this base cream, all I have is this. Actually is a base lotion, because you can see it's very runny. Yeah, now in this base lotion I have more of waxes and oils. So when you're using this base cream, it's basically just to moisturize the skin. I have another one again. I have another base cream here. This one is thicker, as you can see. Yeah, okay. Now this cream here, and is an emulsion, of course, it does not have any other benefit aside from moisturizing the skin, which of course is a benefit, don't get it twisted. But what I mean by other benefit, I would not give you this cream and tell you it's going to help you clear hyperpigmentation. That's not true. It might help reduce the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, because of course it's a moisturizer. But when we talk of evening out skin tone, it's not going to do that. It's just a cream. So for skin of no color, that is the Igbo and the white people, this is very okay for them, because all they need is to moisturize their skin. Yes, they do not necessarily have hyperpigmentation issues like you and I. So how do we now formulate our own creams to favor our own skin concerns? That will be adding ingredients that will help fade out hyperpigmentation. And in the list of such ingredients, we have tyrosinase inhibitors. Example, the licorice, the kojic acid, the alpha arbutin, the sepi white, the giga white. Now, forget that you're hearing white is not as bad as it sounds, if you know what I'm trying to say to you. But basically, this is how it works. These tyrosinase inhibitors, like I said, they're not going to erode the melanin like the way the hydroquinone does. This is going to inhibit the melanin. What does that mean? It's going to calm down the production of melanin, hence encouraging brightening of the skin, lightening of the skin, not bleaching. Please don't get it twisted. Are we communicating here? Yes. And helping to calm down hyperpigmentation as well, in as much as it is moisturizing the skin alongside. So from the base cream, it reaches to the formulation, proper formulation of creams, yeah, and lotions that will be used on the skin to not only moisturize but to also help with evening out of the skin tone. Am I making sense? So the course outline for Emulsion, that is cream course, is what is a base cream. That is why I told you, someone reached out to me and was asking me to give her contact of where I buy cream, and I told her I do not buy cream. I buy raw materials to make cream. So I made this cream by myself from the scratch. I have a video on YouTube that is even like one of my #1. How to formulate the base cream from scratch. Emulsion / cream making with emolients, hydrosols, humectants. So what am I trying to say to you? From this base cream, we produce this cream. So how do you convert this to this? It is the making of the cream. Then there's the introduction of tyrosinase inhibitors, botanical powders. That's another name for tyrosinase inhibitors. Then some botanical powders, solubility, because you picking up a botanical powder to put, it's not every botanical tyrosinase inhibitor, it's not every botanical powder that you can just carry and put inside your base cream and then it mixes up with your base cream and it's good to use. No. Number one, there's usage percentage rates. Yes, there's usually percentage rate, and I wanted to talk, that brings me to talking about concentrates. I decided to in base cream because you also learn how to make concentrates. So what are concentrates? Concentrates are exaggerated doses of botanical powders, tyrosinase inhibitors. So when using concentrates are also very sensitive things, because sensitive ingredient, because they are exaggerated percentage usage of these botanical powders, because these botanical powders have a standard usage rate. For example, kojic acid should not be used at more than 2%. Kojic acid dipalmitate should not be used at more than 7 to 8%. Yeah. Licorice extract should not be used at more than 4%, and the list goes on and on, right? But now in concentrates, we use these things at very high dose, thereby bringing out the worst of those tyrosinase inhibitors. So you see, I did every good thing still has its bad side. So meaning everything that has advantage has advantage, but it's all about you putting it in a formula, formulating it professionally. The reason why I introduced concentrates in my Emulsion course is because in the past I encourage, if my first students, if they are here, they can attest to it, I encourage the use of concentrate, like buying concentrates from outside. Example, one of those concentrates was skin-free milk. I don't know if some of you know it. And skin-free milk, I later sort of discovered with the characteristics, had a lot of kojic acid in it, so it had tendency of giving this a little bit of white spots, kind of beauty spots ish on some people. So it tells you that the high percentage of kojic acid was reacting on some people, and that was the reason why I introduced formulating concentrate in my cream course, where you formulate your concentrate by yourself, choose the powders that would not give issues, because to be honest with you, in as much as kojic acid is one of the best trendy tyrosinase inhibitor for hyperpigmentation, it could still be trickish, especially when the person using it has a damaged skin barrier already, or the person exposes themselves to sun without sunscreen, or they're already using some other products that have kojic acid in them, and it becomes an overdose and begin to act in a way that it is not supposed to act. Okay, so and that's why you see some of these so-called bleaching organic might tell you that they're not using hydroquinone and all of that. They are using overdose of these concentrates without being able to control them, and in as much as these concentrates are not hydroquinone-ish, they are more of exaggerated versions of the tyrosinase inhibited botanical powders, I mean, in a solution kind of, it still has that dark side, because it still has to do with it still has to do with inhibiting the melanin. It's when it is used at the right percentage rate, it is inhibiting melanin. But when you now use it overdose, obviously it will begin to act like the hydroquinone that erodes melanin. Example of such tyrosinase inhibitor that can overact, again, aside from kojic acid, is even alpha-arbutin. Are you shocked? Yeah, alpha-arbutin is an is a connecting ingredient with hydroquinone, more like they are related, so more is a derivative-ish kind of, it's very, very alike with hydroquinone. So therefore, when it is overused, or when it is used in a wrong pH, when you add alpha-arbutin in a highly acidic medium, it's going to convert to hydroquinone immediately. When you add alpha-arbutin in a very an acidic environment, it's going to go south, going back to hydroquinone. When you put it also in a high alkaline condition, it's going to go south. And that's why when people use alpha-arbutin inside African black soap, you brighten, obviously, you whiten or whatever results you want, because most of the time when they want that huge result, they overdose on it. Yes, but along the line, it begins to give you a very similar characteristics with hydroquinone. Why? Because they are closely connected. So the moment it feels uncomfortable, it goes back to its safety zone, and the safety zone happens to be hydroquinone. But when it is put in a safe zone, is it okay? Very, very okay. Alpha-arbutin is one of the best tyrosinase inhibitors I would personally recommend. Okay, we now talk about actives, additives, peptides, ceramides. We talk about temperature, and then we talk about cream and lotion recipes. That is it about the course outline of cream course. I hope I am clear.